Hey sis, it's me, Dr. Tiff. Do you feel like you keep picking the wrong mate, no matter how hard you try? Do you have a tendency of self-sabotage, pushing people away when really you want them close? Are you showing up authentically in your relationships, or do you just send your representative? Have you been known to neglect yourself or put off the self-work that you know you need to do in order to salvage, keep up with, and be in relationship? Do you have trouble setting boundaries or really just maintaining the boundaries that are already set? Or do you find yourself sidestepping your own boundaries in order to make others happy? And last, do you suck at relationships? That's basically what I'm saying, right? Do you suck at relationship? Do you feel like you just cannot get it together and don't know what to do or how to do it? Well, today's episode hopefully will clear a lot of that up, because I'm going to talk to you about calling in the one, the love that you deserve, even if you're currently in a relationship right now. So get your coffee, get your wine, get your hot toddy, get your tea, okay? Because I'm spilling the tips in the tea today on Fix Your Relationships podcast. Let's go. Hi, I'm Dr. Tiff, your relationship transformation coach. I've spent the past 20 years working with high-achieving women just like you who are crushing it in every area of their lives, everywhere except their relationships. And look, I get it. Finding the one ain't easy, and relationships are hard. But you know what's even harder? Cycling through the bad ones, or worse, staying in relationships when you already know they're not a good fit. You want a relationship of ease, uncomplicated, someone to love you down, but instead you've been suffering through bad dates, sexual incompatibility, and someone who might be good for somebody, but not for you. And if we're really being honest, you know that deep down, the work that really needs to be done starts and ends with you. If you're done wasting time in dead-end relationships and sick of looking for, chasing after, or trying to convince somebody to be the one, and you're ready to become the one, then baby, you're in the right place. So prop your feet and let's clink glasses, because I'm giving you the tea and the tips to fix your relationships. Let's go. Hello. It's me, Dr. Tiff, and this is Fix Your Relationships podcast. I'm so excited to be here with you today. I do want to let you know, honey, I've got loose notes. Today, which means they are not fully formed, because I am in expectation that the Holy Spirit is going to tell me what it is He wants you to know. So just be patient. Just work with me. Just listen up. Buckle up, because we've got a word for you today. I am certain of it. Okay? I'm certain of it. I hope you guys are doing well. I sure am. We are knee deep in the month of November. And you know what that means. We are knee deep in the One Within 30-Day Reset. Now, I have been talking about this for weeks, but if you are new to this channel, if you haven't, if this is the first episode that you are listening to, welcome, sis. I'm so glad that you are here. The One Within 30-Day Reset is a 30-day journaling experience like no other. Now, if you are not a journal girly, you are welcome. If you are a journal girly, you're going to love it. Okay. This is your home. This is your safe space. Okay. I say it is a journaling experience because it's not just writing things down. It's not just journaling. It's not just, opening up a blank sheet of paper and just putting thoughts on paper. No, I'm guiding you on a 30-day journey with a fresh new journal prompt each day. This journal as a whole is designed to help you call in the love that you desire and deserve, specifically by focusing on your own growth and transformation. Now, many of us have struggled in relationships before because we have put off the self-work that we need to do in order to be successful in our romantic relationships. This journal is intended and designed to help you do that self-work, to help you walk through all of it, and you're doing it in a supportive community. Now, Each day, I am unlocking a fresh new journal prompt that targets a specific area of your growth and transformation. Each prompt shouldn't take you more than about 5 to 10 minutes. We all have 5 to 10 minutes per day. You're also going to get daily guidance from me in the form of a video to shepherd you through this whole process. Again, you're not doing this alone. I'm not just going to email you a blank document and say, hey, girl, go fill this out. No, I got you, boo. I'm right there with you. You also have access to my private Facebook community. The only people that have access to this community are individuals in this program, individuals that are on the same journey with you. That is by design as well, because I want you to get support from other people who understand the struggle. Okay, you will be able to share your revelations. You'll be able to support others. You'll be able to get feedback. Anything that you need, you'll be able to find that in our Facebook community. You also have access to live monthly group coaching calls where you can ask specific questions about your particular relationship issues and get them answered in real time. You'll also get priority access to one-on-one coaching. Now, you guys, if you've been listening to the podcast for any amount of time, I've been telling you, I've got 4 slots this month for one-on-one coaching. I've got 2 slots. I've got 1 left. Well, you're going to hear that less and less because with the One Within 30-Day Reset, you get priority access to my one-on-one coaching calendar. It is an additional fee, but I take my clients that are already in the One Within 30-Day Reset, I take those clients first. So if the slots fill up, they fill up. Okay, but they're going to fill up first with those that are already in the One Within. You'll also get weekly emails, some bonuses, some surprise bonuses that have baked into the program, and so much more. Now, what makes this time of year extra special, we're doing Black Friday. We know we got Cyber Monday coming up. We know that there is so much going on this holiday season. What I want for you, what I wish for you, what I pray for you, and what I hope that you walk into, if the Lord say the same, honey, and we all wake up 2026, I don't want you to wake up in 2026 dealing with some of the same problems that you've been struggling with in your relationships. I would like to see you walk into 2026 having solved some of those issues, having gotten to the other side of some of the struggles and the problems that you've been having in your relationships. I would like for you to be able to walk into 2026 with so much clarity and so much confidence in how you show up in relationships, in how you choose your partners, how you present yourself, how you own your stuff and all that you are and all that you bring into relationships. When you can do that, you're better able to discern the type of person that you partner with. You're better able to make better relationship choices, to set boundaries and stick to them, and then insist that others stick with them as well. You're better able to communicate. All of that baked into this program, and all of that can happen prior to us getting to 2026. I want to help you with that as well, because for the month of November, I am unlocking VIP status to everyone that signs up. Our program, our standard program, includes everything that I've already spelled out to you. However, VIP access means that instead of 30 days to work through these issues, I'm giving you an extra 30 days. You'll have a total of 60 days of access to this course. That way you can take your time with the material. You can sift through it. You can let it breathe. You don't have to rush. You can get it in where it fits in. You'll have 60 days to go through this program. You'll also have an extra group coaching call. So instead of 1, because you're in the program for 2 months, you'll have 2 group coaching calls. That is why you should do this right now. Come December 1st, we'll be back to our regularly scheduled program. You can still enroll in our regular program, but you can always upgrade for an additional fee to VIP. VIP will still be there. It's just going to be an additional fee. And right now, during the month of November 2025, you'll get VIP access for our standard enrollment price. If you want more information on the One Within 30-Day Reset, just visit my website, drtiffanyhenry.com/the one within. That's DRTIFFANIEHENRY.com/the one within. All right. I do want to talk to you guys today about how we might call in the love we know that we deserve. Throughout my years of practice as a therapist and as a relationship coach, so many of my clients, particularly my female clients, are, and some male too. I mean, this is not just unique to females, but you guys know that in my coaching practice, I am primarily coaching women on how to call in and attract the love that they desire and deserve. Now, what many articulate they are looking for and they struggle with is finding their person, finding the one, right? And so let's talk about what the one is first of all, okay? The one, as I frame it in my programs, has to deal with owning our stuff. It has to deal with nurturing you through with great content, dynamic content that is particular and strategic and really targeting those issues that you come into the relationship with and making sure that you are happy, healed, and whole. And then emerging as someone who understands how our past and even our present is going to shape how we move forward in our future relationships. When people say, I'm looking for the one, what are they looking for? What they're looking for is, some will say, my one true love. And that is, some people believe that you only get one. Do I believe that? Nope. I don't. I don't believe that you get one person to love you down for the rest of your life. And once that person is gone, or you break up, or they pass away, you don't get another chance at that. I don't believe that. I do believe that it's hard to get past it when you have experienced that. It's hard to believe that that will come back to you because it is so rare. But I do believe that, everything in our life, it has a reason, season, and lifetime, including love. Sometimes love comes into your life at a particular time and for a particular time. And sometimes it is a forever kind of love. But I don't want to minimize any of those because they all come into our lives, not for us to go through it, but to grow through it. There's always a purpose to it. And so do I feel like you only get one love, one true love of your life? I believe you get more than one. But I do think that one, the one, can come in many different shapes, form, and it's just different shapes. It's going to look different depending on where you are in your life. Okay. So really, when people say I'm looking for the one, they're looking for their ideal partner, the person that will love them, that they will love, that, fits perfectly into their lives, grows with them, encourages them. But we have different ideas, again, depending on what stage of life we are in, what ideal means and what ideal means for us. And so many of the women that I work with come in looking for their person because they have had a history of ushering in the wrong person, attracting the wrong person, being attracted to the wrong type of person. They have a history of maybe sabotaging their relationships, doing things that push the other person away when really they don't want to do that. But they have these patterns, they have these habits, they have these tendencies that whether it rubs the other person the wrong way, or it sends a wrong message, or it's not really, it ain't really giving what it's supposed to give. Sometimes we don't show up as authentically as we should in our relationships. Sometimes we send the representative. I've used this analogy before, but when you go on a job interview, the first thing you do is not tell them all of your flaws, right? You show up pristine, you're dressed a certain way, you come perfectly coiffed, you use proper language or grammar, you speak very professional, you tell them all the wonderful qualities about you, but you don't tell them your shortcomings. You don't tell them you're always late, that you got ADHD and you scatterbrain. Maybe you do, but most of us don't. You don't tell them that, your desk is always a mess and you have a really tough time organizing and you like to gossip. You don't tell them all of that, right? You send in your best representative. The problem with that is eventually you show up. The you that you are all the time, it shows up. And hopefully that person is able to continue the job, but sometimes they're not. Because the person that actually came in for the interview is not the person that shows up on the job after that 90-day review. That happens also in our relationships. Of course, we don't show up on that first date. Some people do, and we can X them out immediately, and we thank God for that, right? But sometimes we show up on that first date or that first phone call, or we put in our dating profile online all of the wonderful qualities about ourselves, but we don't own the things that we are trying to work on and work through. And even if that's not appropriate, maybe you don't tell everybody everything on the first date. When we're asked that question, the dreaded question, why are you still single? Why aren't you married? Why did you get divorced? What happened? We don't always own our stuff. We don't own our stuff. And if we don't own our stuff, we may never see the ideal partner for us. Why is that? Because we haven't acknowledged what our shortcomings are. We haven't started the work on fixing some of those shortcomings and missteps. And if we don't do that, we're going to continue to attract and call in something that is attracted to that broken part of us. Okay. And so I want to challenge you today to start doing that work, because the way in which we call in and start attracting the type of love that we deserve is to understand the type of love that we desire, need, and deserve. Okay. You haven't been able to find that by now because maybe your focus has been on finding the one rather than becoming the one. I've told you before, become the one. That is my slogan. That is what my business is named. That is what we are working towards with the One Within 30-day reset, is becoming the one. Okay, rather than looking for, trying to convince somebody to be, trying to change our partners to be the person that we want to be, we are focused, ladies. We are focused on becoming the person that we should be, right? Whatever it is that you're lacking, the thing that thing that you don't show up on the job interview with, those things, those are the things that we're working through. If you are consistently picking the wrong person or seeing the same thing show up in your partners, babes, with all due, you are the problem. You are the constant. You are the person that is consistently in each one of those relationships, which means there is something that you are doing or not doing that has to change. Yet and still, we focus on what our partners need to do to change. It's us. We have to make the changes, okay? You're not showing up, and I spoke about this before. Another reason why maybe you haven't found your person is that you're not showing up authentically. And you're attracting people who are attracted to an inauthentic version of you. You have to be who you are. You have to acknowledge your flaws. What does that look like? It looks like when those things show up for you in relationship. Let's say you know that you have a pattern of not trusting your partner, okay? That trust is really difficult for you. If you are exploring your own trust issues, and I have a wonderful episode on trust issues. So episode 38, if you go back into the show notes, I'll have it linked there. But if you're in Apple Podcasts right now, episode 38 is Triumph Over Trust Issues in 3 Easy Steps. I also have a few episodes, and I'll link them as well. Episode 40, signs that you're sabotaging your relationship, if you need a little help figuring that out. And also 5 ways that we sabotage if you're pushing love away, if you have a tendency to push love away. That is episode 44. So there are things that we do. Sometimes we show up in relationship and we're not trusting people. But if we haven't done the self-work, we may not know why we don't trust people in the way in which we should. And that is super important, the why, where it originated. Because once we know that, we can then communicate that to our partner. Please understand that when I ask you these questions, it is because I have issues of distrust. And those issues stem from, me catching my father in lies as he lied to my mom every time he came in late. Or me being in a relationship with someone who consistently told me one thing, but I ended up finding out, that what they were telling me is a lie. And so when you do X, it brings me back to that place. You have not given me a reason to think that you are doing the same thing. However, that is where my mind goes. That is something that I must work through. See how I own that statement? That is something that I must work through. But understand it is a work in progress. So in order for us to grow in our relationship, I have to own it right? I have to acknowledge and own it, but I also have to be able to communicate it with my partner so that they know what the expectation is, they know what the boundary is, and they understand better where it's coming from so we can communicate about it a little bit better. So what I want to do today, I want to give you short, sweet, and to the point. I want to give you a few tips. Here they go, okay? Number one, what I would love to see you do is prioritize self-work, okay? I had a conversation with a client today who has a really good idea of some of the things that have gone wrong in her relationships and understands that she needs to do better, that the relationships needs to do better. But where she struggles is prioritizing self-work. She finds herself involved in lots of business that is not hers. She finds herself taking on things that she really probably shouldn't. She overfunctions in a lot of her relationships, and she's not working enough on herself. She understands that there are things that need to change, okay? And that's the first step, okay? Acknowledging, owning, understanding, right? But the next step is action. Starting to make those shifts and changes, okay? And so in order to start to make those shifts and changes, we have to prioritize time. We have to set an intention and prioritize and make sure that we do it. Okay. So one of the ways in which we start calling in the love that we deserve is to first love ourselves enough to say, I have to work on me. Okay. That again, if you want to start doing that, if you need help with that, the One Within 30-Day Reset is here for you. You will be able, like I said, to do as much work as you need to within those 60 days. The program takes 30. I'm giving you an extra 30 in order to prioritize yourself, to go through this process at your leisure and really work through some of those things that you have been putting off. Another way that you can really start right now, calling in that love that you know you deserve, is to stop wasting time in dead-end relationships. You know if your relationship is going nowhere. You understand that. You are very clear on it. You know that you're just over here doodling. You're just over here piddling, wasting time, doing nothing, not going anywhere. You know that this is not the person you want to bring home to anybody. You know that this person they have potential, but they're not actualizing it. They're not using it. They're not living up to it. Okay. You know that this is not where you're supposed to be. And you also know that this is not, when God says he has the best for you, that this ain't it. Okay. You know that. You're clear, but you're wasting time in that relationship. And we have to be willing, first and foremost, to be alone. We have to be willing to get out. We have to be willing to sacrifice what is in order to gain what God has for us. We can't do both. We can't have what he wants for us, yet keep what we're scared to lose when we know it's not it anyway. So be willing to be alone. Stop wasting time in the dead-end relationships. Prioritize the self-work. And lastly, focus on you. Focus on changing yourself. Okay? We have to start. And when I say that, I want to stress to you that we have to start accepting people for who they are. Too often we go into a relationship and we are so laser focused on wanting a person to be whom we want them to be without accepting that they are not that person. People change all the time, but they change because they want to, not because we ask them to. You can ask someone, a loved one, someone that you love and that loves you all day, to stop smoking. You can ask them and they can pretend to stop smoking. They can stop smoking for a period of time. They can stop smoking in your presence. But until they make the decision and the commitment and they prioritize the work that they need to do in order to stop smoking, they won't stop smoking. It is a choice. And not saying that addiction is a choice, but until they determine that they want to work through that addiction, we have to accept this person is a smoker. You have to accept this person has a funny definition of the truth. This person really has an issue with being consistent. This person has a really weird relationship with trust. This person is emotionally abusive. This person does not respect me. We have to accept that people are who they show us that they are, not who they have the potential to be, not who they say they're going to be eventually. If we just stick with them, okay? We have to accept people for who they are and not who we want them to be. And likewise, we have to accept ourselves for who we are. and not who we pretend to be or wish that we were or will be once they are who we want them to be. Accept where you are. The worst thing that you can do in a relationship is sit around waiting on someone else to change. The best thing you can do is accept them for who they are and determine if you should make a change. Because sometimes calling in the one is about clearing the slate, getting out of that dead-end relationship so that there is space for the person that God wants you to have. There's space for the person that God has intended for you. I hope this message reaches somebody. I hope that you got what you needed out of today. And I really do hope to see you in the One Within 30-Day Reset. There is still time to take advantage of the November, everybody's VIP celebration. If you are interested, go to drtiffanyhenry.com/theonewithin to sign up. I can't wait to welcome you into the program and to help you level up on your relationship goals so that you too can start calling in the love that you deserve. This has been another episode of Fix Your Relationships with Dr. Tiff. I can't wait to see you again here next week. Ciao. Hey, babe, I hope you enjoyed today's episode. My goal with this podcast is to bless you with information that helps you fix those relationships that are most important to you, but not before you do the self-work needed to make sure that those relationships thrive. If this episode was exactly what you needed, then guess what? Somebody else probably needs it too. So do me and them a favor. Please share this episode with your good girlfriend and let her know about the podcast. And while you're at it, hop on over to Apple Podcasts and leave a review. This really helps to grow the podcast and puts it right in front of other women who are desperate to work on their relationships and themselves. And if you haven't done so already, I want to invite you to join our community of like-minded women all on a journey to become the one. You can sign up for free at becometheone.myflowdesk.com/email. I know that's a lot, so just go on over to the show notes and click that link there. Thanks again for listening to Fix Your Relationships with Dr. Tiff. I'll see you right back here next week.